It's my grandson's wedding. And that should be quite an occasion.
It's something that, since I was born, that they've dreamed about. And finally, that day is coming true. My mother's.
When we got married, I never thought of the future. I never thought that I live to have a grandson and to be at his wedding.
Good, one more time. Keep on. Hold it.
Our grandson's wedding, to me, is like a miracle.
My parents were married 55 years ago during the war, as the Germans were rolling in.
I fell in love with her.
At my grandparents' wedding, there was no singing, there was no music. Everything was done in secrecy. It was pretty much illegal. The Germans found out about it, everybody there would have been killed on the spot.
The main reason why we got married at that time was to give the parents a day that, as short as they will live, they will have that day that they married off their children. We did not get any wedding gifts because nobody had anything to give. And you didn't expect anything. At that time, if you gave somebody a half a bread, that was the best gift.
Tizku livnos bayis ne'eman b'Yisrael, to build together a wonderful home, as from the homes you have come, a home filled with love.
Shortly after we got married, the city was liquidated and we all had to move to the ghetto. More than half of the Jewish population in our city was already destroyed.
It was unbearable because you never knew what the next hour was going to be.
My parents were together towards the beginning, but then they were separated.
I went to 3 concentration camps: Gross-Rosen, Mauthausen, and Bergen-Belsen. All of them were horrible.
From Gross-Rosen, I was taken to Buchenwald.
Somehow, under those crazy conditions, life went out.
After trial and tribulation, even after Churban, we respond by going forward, having children, having grandchildren.
The war was over, and my grandfather was liberated, and he thought that he was one of the only Jews left in the world. He thought that everybody else was killed.
There came over a rabbi from the American army, and he brought a list with names that lived through the war in Bergen-Belsen, and I found Jean. I knew that she's alive, and I was looking forward to find her alive. I don't know what condition, but I knew she's alive.
I was very sick.
And my father rode a bike a couple days, I think, to get to my mother.
After a week, he finally got there. He saw this camp, and it was pretty big. And he went from woman to woman, asking, "Do you know this woman? Do you know this woman?" And then no one knew her.
All of a sudden, a woman says, "You looking for Jean? You looking for Genya?" I said, "Yes." "You must be her husband." I said, "Yes."
The woman, without a response, just started crying, and she fell to the floor.
"My goodness," she said. "This, I gonna have the biggest mitzvah in my life. I gonna bring together a couple that lived through the war, you know? And she is screaming and she is crying. And before you know, you have people, maybe 40, 50 people, they all walk with us. And we came over to the room in the block where she lived. She lived on the first floor. And there's a big commotion, you know? And she said, "This door is where your wife is."
Funny. Now you cry, then you didn't cry.
And I went in, we hugged each other, we started to talk, and everybody was crying. Like a funeral, not like getting together. And that's how I find her.
we did not cry. I didn't cry probably from 1940 till when the boat docked in New York. That was the first time that
By
I
the
cried.
Statue of Liberty, that we are free, we're here.
They've taken this horrible experience and taken the beauty of their love and being reunited and said they're going to make a life for themselves. And there's hope. And the hope is in the children and the grandchildren as they see it in Neil.
We are so lucky that we live to see the fruit of life.
Jewish life never ends. It always goes on.
We have to live for today and cherish family and cherish happy occasions.
We hope maybe I will be able to see our great grandchild.